People always say the phrase, the past will come back to haunt you, but I don't think that whenever they say this, they expect this to have a positive meaning. After about 40 years, 2 disappearance cold cases in Oklahoma have now been reopened on account that 2 cars and a total of 6 bodies have recently been discovered in Foss Lake while a state highway patrol trooper was training with a new sonar on the lake. Detectives were able to connect these cold cases to these 2 newly discovered vehicles by figuring out the year and model of the car and then tracing it back to past cases in which 3 people disappeared. As it turns out, these 2 cars have nothing to do with each other, and the 3 people in each car probably didn't even know each other. While one car was linked to a cold case in 1970, the other was linked to a cold case that occurred in 1969. The first car that was discovered turned out to be a 1969 blue Camaro and was linked to a disappearance case that occurred in 1970 and involved 3 teenagers. The 3 teenagers in the 1969 Camaro were 16-year-old Jimmy Williams of Sayre, Oklahoma, who was supposedly driving his 2 friends Thomas Rios and Leah Johnson, both 18, to a football game on the night of November 20th. Based on the 2 rusted hunting rifles that were found inside the trunk of the Camaro, it is believed that instead of going to the football game as intended, the teenagers decided to go hunting in the woods instead. However, how the car ended up at the bottom of the lake is still unknown. Upon linking the first car to the 3 teenagers, the second car was linked to a case involving 3 missing adults. The second car uncovered was discovered to be a green 1952 Chevrolet belonging to 69-year-old John Alvo Porter. Porter was traveling with passengers Cleburne Hammock and Nora Marie Duncan, who were 42 and 58 at the time, on April 8, 1969. When their Chevrolet ended up shutting down on the highway, it had been reported in the 1969 Oklahoma newspaper article that Porter, Duncan, and Hammock were last seen when their 1953 green Chevrolet car was given a push to help get it started again. As of Monday, it was unknown as to who gave them this push, but after a statement was given from Duncan's brother, detectives were given a clue as to who may have given them this push. It is still unknown in this case as well how exactly their car ended up at the bottom of Foss Lake. Obviously not much is known about these 2 cases yet, but I'm sure that digging up 40-year-old cold cases isn't always an easy thing to do. Regardless, detectives are doing their best to find out as much as they can about these cases in hopes of, at the very least, giving the families of these victims some peace of mind towards the passing of their loved ones. Currently, detectives are diligently working to discover any information that they can as to how each of these cars ended up at the bottom of the lake. In a recent statement from officials, it has been confirmed that family reference sample DNA has been collected from all of the presumed families and it has been sent to a DNA reference laboratory. The one solid piece of information that has always been known over the years is that 6 innocent people lost their lives, and sadly, up until now, their friends and family were left with no explanation and no proper burial because these cases were filed as cold. Hopefully now, after 40 years and extensive investigation, officials will be able to provide the 6 families with some peace of mind. For the families of the victims, the past really has come back to haunt them, but it has posed somewhat of a peaceful thing that brings them to answers to the many questions that I'm sure they've had over the years.